Manchester United legend Rio Ferdinand says it without fear of missing his words. Sheikh Jassim is the new owner of Manchester United. That is the latest coming through concerning Manchester United from a club legend, Rio Ferdinand. Subscribe to the hotspot as we continue to break the news, of course, to follow all the major stories that do come in the world of Manchester United. Now, the latest today, just about 3 hours ago, on a video that I saw on the United stand, of course, it was broken by Rio Ferdinand that the Qatar deal announcement is imminent, that anytime from now they will be confirming Qatar as the new owners of Manchester United. Now, this has come on the same day that the Premier League fixtures were released. Now, that's interesting. Those are two huge, interesting developments concerning the beautiful game of football. But let's first stick to that. That has brought us here for this video. That man, Rio Ferdinand, he has always been an outspoken footballer, even as a defender, even when he was captain of Manchester United. He has always been outspoken. In fact, if you're going to be a captain anyway, you've got to be outspoken in a way. It's part of what you need. That's the confidence you need to entrust in your teammates. But Ferdinand has come out and confirmed it that Qatar or Sheikh Jassim is going to be announced. Now, club legends, if you've been following consistently, club legends have been so silent on the position of the ownership of Manchester United, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim competing and battling for months since November. They have been silent, and it's always an interesting situation, because club legends, you don't expect them to come and just talk, without clarity. You'd ask yourself, Ferdinand is always on social media, he's always on Twitter. Why hadn't he ever come out to say a thing about this? So he knows what he was doing. So the video did not leak. He recorded the video himself. It was a selfie video, and he did confirm this. So I think, again, it just continues to prove what we spoke about here, what you could say we already knew or expected, that Qatar would be confirmed sooner rather than later, and that's exactly what has happened. And like I've been telling you, when you follow the sequence of events recently, they just all point to the same thing. I think these guys are just trying to manage the emotions of Manchester United supporters, so that when the news finally breaks, people don't faint. Because given the hatred people have towards the Glazers, if this news just came out abruptly without preparing the fans, I think certain people would faint or something. So for me, I think all these leaks, all these videos from Rio Ferdinand, the tweet from the Al Watan Twitter page, all of these have been preparing us for what now we already know, that Sheikh Jassim will be the new owner of Manchester United sooner rather than later. This is a man who comes from a filthy rich family, and just to give you a little insight into his family, their net worth is about 275 billion as the royal family of Qatar, and his father is worth $1.2 billion. That's his dad alone, which is about 800 million pounds. But the whole family that he comes from is worth 275 billion pounds. That's according, of course, to our research that we've been digging as we continue to chase and try to get every detail concerning this man trying to buy our beloved club and the biggest football club in the world. So it's an interesting development from Ferdinand. It comes at a time when we have started being active. Of course, the transfer window has opened. We are active, already made bids for players like Mason Mount, and our bid was rejected, but it shows you we are back to business. By the way, guys, don't you be surprised. This is me. This is Webb. Well, because of being in front of light so many times lately, I've been having a terrible headaches. So I had to go and get sick an optician's opinion, and I was advised to put on these. So I hope you don't mind, and I hope they don't make me look different. So this is Webb, guys. So do subscribe. Don't unsubscribe thinking, who is this now? Well, it is me. But yeah, the big news now about Ferdinand. But again, looking at the whole situation, it comes when the Premier League fixtures are out. Of course, Manchester United's opening game is going to be coming against Wolves. It's an interesting game. By the way, if you read down in the scrolls there, some of the other fixtures and dates are there. But later on, when I do come back tonight at exactly 10 p.m., we are going to be digging into our fixtures and trying to look at Manchester United first 5 games, but also the major derbies and when they do come, the big games. Those are games against Arsenal and Man City, but also try to weigh how good we'll be looking depending on the signings we are being linked to. But for this video particularly is to let you know that Rio Ferdinand has just broken the news. Continue to give us more build up to the announcement that should be coming before the end of this week, that Sheikh Jassim is now the owner of Manchester United. That's the latest that has come in concerning Man United. But what had come in earlier was that Man United will be opening on the 14th of August. It will be a Monday against Wolverhampton. This is a team we beat home and away in the last season, so I do believe it's a fair opening day, opening fixture. Man City will be playing against their former captain Vincent Kompany. Interesting stuff. Some people no wonder say football is scripted. That should be a good game to open it up for Man City. I thought Man City's opening games are quite easy, but I also don't think Man United's games are that tough, opening games. I think depending on how we prepare in the opening season, but we'll talk about them in detail live at 10 p.m. at exactly 22 hours. We'll be live here talking about this. But the latest, of course, concerning the transfers is Bayern Munich has now also picked up interest in our wanted Kim Min-jae. And you need to remember, I think I've been in the race with English clubs for this particular window, because almost every player that an English club points at, Bayern Munich comes in interested. But I would be shocked if a player like Kim Min-jae chose Bayern Munich over Manchester United. I think he would only be looking at Europe, but I think the local league is not competitive. You can't come from the Italian Serie A, which I think is more competitive than the Bundesliga, and you go to Bayern. I think you'd rather start Napoli. So I think for me, whereas both clubs approach the player, I do think the obvious decision for him, the same decision for him, will be joining Manchester United, because I don't expect Bayern to even offer him a lot more money than United would anyway. So for me, I'm not worried about reports that Bayern Munich are growing in interest. But also Bayern Munich doesn't really have the allure it used to have years ago. Yes, it's a historical club, but I don't think it has the allure for players like it used to have. That's why even players like Declan Rice, he has been linked to them, but he chose Manchester United, rather Arsenal. So I'm not worried about that story. I think we'll sign Kim Min-jae for about £45 million. In fact, United are not pressured. They are going to continue with their plans. Those are reports that came through. I think Fabrizio Romano, Telegraph, they all reported it, that they are going to go on with their plans. And the interest from Bayern will not shake them, because we had made amends in terms of signing him, because United had agreed with the player only pending agreeing with the club, that's Juventus, rather Napoli, and that's going to be happening. So for me, I'm not worried about that story. Of course, later on, I will again be telling you about this young boy, Colomwani, who is now piquing the interest of Chelsea. And again, I'm wondering, what's the plan? I do think actually Colomwani is a player we want to sign. We do want to sign. If he's not highly priced, like I felt in the initial reports we got at £65 million, I think that's quite on the higher side. But he's a good player. He's plays, like I told you, like Thierry Henry in terms of style. I think he would be a good addition to United. And Chelsea are coming now. So if we have the money, I do feel we need to make moves early. But Colomwani is one player I think we can't think of. For Rasmus Højlund, I think he might be one of the next players we bid for. But probably Man United will be wanting to take it one player at a time. So Mason Mount first, taking back a second bid probably tomorrow or the day after. But I do believe United is first going to chase Mason Mount. And of course, Arsenal's bid for Declan Rice was rejected, £80 million from Arsenal for Rice. Do I think Rice is worth 100 million? Not even, okay, 80. Okay, he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's a good footballer. But, well, he's good, without a doubt. Is he worth 80 million pounds? From 100? Those are the earlier reports. Well, I'm not so sure. I don't think so, but I don't care about Arsenal anyway. But, yeah, that's the whole conversation. The latest now is Rio Ferdinand is pushing us to the announcement we've all been waiting for. Subscribe to the Hotspot. I will be back at exactly 10 p.m. live as we do talk more about Man United, the fixtures, the players we are linked to, and any developing stories that would have come at that time. My name is Webb. Peace, love, and harmony.